Mr. Secretary, how many employees were there at HHS when you took over?
82,000,
How many do you have today?
62,000.
Okay.
It's about the level it was in 2019, right before COVID.
Is this the first time that an institution in America has ever downsized?
I don't think so. I think private and public institutions have historically.
Microsoft just announced that they were going to reduce their workforce by 6,000 people. You think that'll be the end of Microsoft?
Senator, we wouldn't have reduced anybody.
You think that'll be the end of Microsoft?
I don't think so, Senator.
Meta, I still call them Facebook, just announced they're going to reduce their workforce by 3,000 people. You think that'll be the end of Meta?
I imagine it will not.
Yeah, think maybe the people at Meta know what they're doing?
I think that they do. They make a lot of money, Senator.
Hey folks, welcome back. Today's video is fire. Breaking down a wild exchange between Senator John Kennedy and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. at a recent appropriations hearing. They discussed government downsizing, medical research funding, misuse of taxpayer dollars, and junk food poisoning Americans. Yeah, got that real. Let's jump into it. Government downsizing. I asked the secretary, how many employees were at the Department of Health and Human Services when he took over? He said 82,000, and today, 62,000. Is this the first time in American history that an institution has ever downsized? He said no. Microsoft, Meta, they're all cutting staff. Just because you're cutting doesn't mean you're collapsing. The private sector does it all the time. You think that'll be the end of Microsoft? I don't think so, Senator. Exactly. NIH funding and waste. We went deep into the NIH. He loves NIH, grew up around it, loves science. Great, we're on the same page. But the NIH gives out billions for medical research. Many universities take huge chunks for indirect costs. That's not research. In Louisiana, we call that stealing. Any doubt universities misuse those funds? Nope, not a shred of doubt. We're talking billions of taxpayer dollars. If you think this needs to get out, smash that subscribe button. Bringing you the real talk politicians won't tell you. No filters, no fluff.
Do you hate NIH?
I love NIH. I grew up with NIH. I visited when I was a boy. I love science, and those were my favorite afternoons, visiting the labs at NIH.
Do you hate medical research?
No, I think we need to lead the world in medical research in this country.
In fact, isn't it true that you would like to see more money spent on medical research?
Obviously, I'm the secretary of this department. No secretary wants to see his budget cut.
One way of doing that would be to stop some of the stealing. Let's suppose you give NIH gives a university $100 million to research, for medical research, to research a cure. And that university takes $30 million of it, doesn't spend it on the research. They use it to subsidize the rest of their university. Does that show a commitment to medical research?
No, and I mentioned before the example of Stanford, which was taking 78% in indirect costs, and we don't know what they were spending.
That's theft, isn't it?
It's not a good
in
way to
Louisiana,
spend
we call
federal
that stealing.
Taxpayer dollars.
What you're doing is adding money to medical research.
We will be able to fund many, many, many more studies by eliminating that $9 billion, at least part of that $9 billion cost.
Next up, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP. Sounds good on paper, right? Help folks pay their heating bills. But get this. A GAO audit found 11,000 dead people were receiving LIHEAP grants. Yeah, dead people. Prisoners were getting grants too. Were they using the grants to heat their jail cells? Federal employees with six-figure salaries and folks in million-dollar homes getting benefits meant for the poor. That's a slap in the face to hard-working taxpayers.
Are you familiar with this GAO report they did on LIHEAP? They audited 7 states. They found 11,000 dead people getting LIHEAP grants. You familiar with that?
No, but that is pretty typical of many of the other programs that we're working with.
They found prisoners getting grants, didn't they?
To close things out, I brought up something that hits home for millions: processed food. Why do we allow highly processed, chemical-laced food on our shelves in America? Simple profit. Food companies are poisoning kids here for profit. They sell cleaner versions of those same products in Canada and Europe. Same company, same cereal, less poison. Overseas. That's criminal greed, and it's hurting our children.
Why do we allow highly processed foods in America?
That's a complicated question, but it's driven by profits, but to a food industry that is making money by poisoning American kids, and they don't do it abroad. They make the same products for Canada and for Europe that do not contain many of those chemicals.
You understand, Mr. Secretary, there's nothing you can do that's going to make many of my Democratic colleagues happy. You get that, don't you?
I do understand. I'm coming to understand that, Senator.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, this wasn't your typical soft glove hearing. It was raw, it was real, and it was necessary. I didn't come here to win popularity contests. I came to ask hard questions and speak the truth. If you appreciated this breakdown, give the video a like, and don't forget to hit subscribe. See you in the next one.